guys, welcome back here to the Fishing Teacher, and appreciate you guys swinging by the channel to check out today's video and listen to me a little bit. And guys, today I want to I just want to have a conversation with you guys about catching bass in the month of April. At the time of filming this video, we're in the mid part of April, and there is one thing that stands above everything else this time of year. Really, anytime the water temperature is like between 60 to 70, and I want to get into that in today's video. It's definitely going to help you guys catch some good fish here. Also, guys, thank you very much for everybody that's taken time to reach out to me for a private on-the-water lesson, man. If you guys are interested in booking an on-the-water lesson with me to learn about any technique in bass fishing you want to know about, just go to my Facebook page, Intuitive Angling with Randy Blaukat, and shoot me a private message. And also, guys, if you're still, Tackle Warehouse has still got some of their good spring sales going on their tackle. If you guys are looking to get some gear for this spring, I'll have my Tackle Warehouse link in this video description. Using that link is a great way to support the Fishing Teacher here. Much appreciated if you guys are using that, and thank you very much for everybody that has been. Okay, guys, one of the things that I want to talk about today is the techniques that work best this time of year in April. And one of the most fascinating things about bass fishing to me is that the mood and the personality and the baits and the sizes and the colors and the profiles that bass prefer, it changes month to month. I don't really know why exactly. I mean, I can just theorize with it, but I don't think there's a single month out there that there isn't some type of change within the bass behavior in terms of the techniques that they want to bite. Now, there's some months that not so much. Like, for example, there's not a big difference between like the middle of December to the first part of February in techniques. But in my opinion, April, and specifically like anytime that water temperature is between 55 to 70 degrees, you've got a lot going on, and you've got a lot of changes in what the bass like as far as the baits they like. And I think most of this has got to be centered around the spawn. I mean, they're focused on spawning. I don't care if you're a male bass or you're a female bass. That's part of the reason you're living, is because you've got a strong urge to spawn. And once the fish get into that mindset of spawning, where they're preparing for that and it's getting closer, they behave differently completely. Here's the number one tip that I want to give you guys in catching bass. If you look at your temperature gauge and you see that water temperature is between 60 to 70 degrees, here's the number one tip I want to give you, and that is to fish bottom baits. I'm not saying that moving baits don't work some, but they're very, very situational. If you want to go out and catch a lot of bass in April specifically, try to stay away from your baits like your spinner baits and your crank baits and your glide baits, stuff like that, topwater lures. Now, they will catch fish, don't get me wrong, but like I said, you got to have the right set of conditions for it. You got to have the right wind direction, you have to have the right light intensity, you have to have everything line up perfectly in order for them to bite those baits, because it's a situational bite. But day in and day out, if you want to consistently catch bass, stay on the bottom, and rank from top to bottom. As far as what I'm talking about here, I'm putting something like a shaky head and a Ned rig as right up there at the top of the list. A drop shot, a Nico rig, any type of a bait that you can fish on the bottom in and around those type of spawning areas. Now, it doesn't matter what the water visibility is. I don't care if it's muddy water or clear water. If it's dirty water, I'm going to be flipping maybe a dark colored creature bait or a jig. If it's real clear water, like if you got water visibility over 5 or 6 feet deep, I'm going to be fishing like the Ned rig and the shaky head. Get a ton more bites, and you can fish through an area with a moving bait this time of year and not catch anything and swear there's no fish there, and go right back across it with a slow bait and catch them. I'll give you guys an example. I've been fishing a bunch here back home in Missouri the last couple of weeks. I mean, I've been fishing a lot, and there has been several situations where, let's say for example, there's a nice rocky bank where there's some good wind blowing on it, maybe like a 10-15 mile an hour wind, and I pull up on it and say, this is perfect for a crankbait or a swim bait or spinner bait or something like that, and I can't get a bite, and you swear there's no fish there, and then I'll turn right back around and work through that same bank with like a jig or a shaky head, or maybe even like a swing head jig, and I'll catch a bunch of fish. They're there, but they do not want to move and they don't want to chase. And that's what you have to determine in bass fishing. It's like, there's one thing above anything else is you have got, and you hear me talking about it a lot, you got to determine the mood of that bass. And the mood equates to how much that they are in a chasing mode or not, because you have different levels of it. So let's say on one example, you got a cloudy, windy day with some clear water, and everything's lined up perfect, and the bass want to chase. Low light conditions, they're going to chase a spinnerbait, they're going to chase a crankbait, they're going to chase a topwater depending upon the water temperature. And you can go back the next day there, and let's say, for example, a front went through and you don't have, and the wind died off, and the temperature dropped 20 degrees, and instead of a cloudy sky, you got bluebird skies out there, and they won't chase a bait for nothing. They want to tuck down on the bottom, they want to stay next to cover, and that's just what they do. It's just every day is a different day. But overall, guys, if you want to be consistent, you know, just leave all that other stuff at home. It's like a lot of times you waste so much time on those moving baits in April that if you were just focused and fish a slow bait, you catch fish all day long. So fish slow in April, fish baits that are on the bottom in April, and then once that water temperature starts getting above 70 degrees, like in May time, that's when they're going to start chasing a little bit more, and they're going to start hitting things like swim jigs and, you know, crankbaits again and top waters. But right now, guys, they're hunkered down on the bottom. So hope it helps you guys out.